What's up? Welcome back. We are your Emerald Coast relocation team. Today we're going to be covering pros and cons of actually living on Pensacola Beach.
Yeah, guys, this is definitely a thing because oftentimes we cover like Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, all these areas that a lot of people are like, yeah, you know, I can see myself living here. Pensacola Beach is a different beast, and there are some pros to it and there are some cons to it. You can see I'm rocking out into my attire right now, in my beach attire, and I say that this is probably the first time I've ever wore this shirt. But usually when I go to the beach, you know, I'm in a tank top, you know, rocking that. I didn't think that was too appropriate for this video. But let's go and go into the first pro, obviously being the fact that you have one of the best beaches in the United States, and I can say that with experience. Yeah. We have been to how many? Probably like 5 other beaches in Florida. I've been to beaches over in California. I've been over to Virginia Beach, South Carolina. You talk about it. None of them even compare to Pensacola Beach.
Yeah, these sands, we have the white sugary sand. This is actually the first time since moving here that we have seen like some seaweed wash up. That is really typical for some of the other beaches, yeah. But we actually have clear beaches majority of the year, unless obviously there's a big storm or something like that. And then of course they call us the Emerald Coast for a reason. We have Emerald Coast, beautiful waters. You cannot beat it, guys. So much so that Peter and I used to travel to go to the beach. And this year for our anniversary trip, because we travel every year for our anniversary, we're like, we don't even need to go to a beach. Like, we have the best beach. We don't even need to spend money going somewhere else. We're actually gonna go like to Nashville or something. But for us, this has been a game changer. We are, I don't know, just like in awe every time we come down to the beach. I know that even talking to some of the locals, they're like, yeah, well, it you know, starts to wear off. And then I've talked to other locals who are like, nope, every single day, I'm still so grateful that we get to call this beach our home.
Yeah, guys, it says something. When somewhere you live, you don't want to leave it to go somewhere like Mexico. Because usually we go to Mexico, Costa Rica, something like that. We're like, yeah, their beaches aren't as good as ours. So that says something right there.
We're snooty beach people now.
We are snooty beach people. All right, let's go and go into that second pro. And the second pro here is going to be comparing pretty much this to Navarre Beach, but the amount of restaurants and amenities that you do have here in Pensacola Beach, you have quite a few. Where if you go down to Navarre, you pretty much only have two
Windjammers and a couple things.
Yeah,
on
2 or 3
beach,
restaurants right there. Outside of that, it's pretty quaint, a lot more quiet over there. So you can say, hey, that's a pro actually for Navarre Beach. We're actually gonna do another video comparing Navarre Beach to Pensacola Beach here, probably in the next week or so. But it just, I mean, you have so many restaurants to choose from. Even when we do spend a whole entire day at the beach, we're like, all right, where do we want to go tonight? And now we know all the local spots. So even when it's tourist season, we're like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna go here because we know all the tourists don't know about this spot, but they have a lot of great options in regards to those restaurants.
All right, if you're gonna be on the beach, obviously you could just walk up to the dock. Like if you're gonna be, you know, on the kind of the area where a lot of the tourists happen, which is gonna be by the ball. If you need a reference, we'll show you a little picture here. You can also walk up to crabs and even sidelines, which is gonna be kind of your wings and like American style.
Like sports bar kind of.
Yeah, sports bar. And then of course, like you can't miss flounders. They're actually putting in a senior frogs for the nightlife. We'll talk about that here shortly. But also you can hop over to Whiskey Joe. So I mean, all of that is right here. When I counted on the map for you guys, because I was like, gosh, I wonder how many there really are. Mainly this was in prep for the next video. You're gonna want to see that video, so we're gonna stop for a second before we jump into how many are actually down here. Guys, if you are liking this, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, because you're gonna want to see the comparisons between the two beaches. It's one of the hottest topic down here in the Emerald Coast. Okay, when I was counting for you guys on the map, there was like about 28 different restaurants over here on Pensacola Beach that are all accessible within 5 minutes, no joke. So this is definitely gonna be a little bit more lively. You can come down here all day. You can go to, there's not like a convenience store, but there is like the corner store or like the gas station. It's
kind of, yeah. So they have one down east a little bit. They'll have a little, that's usually where you go to get your liquor. They'll have one as you're coming in, a little liquor store right there as well too.
But no like big grocery stores or anything.
Yeah, and so make sure you stick around because we're going to be talking about that when we do dive into the cons of living on Pensacola Beach.
Yeah, but if you're going to be here all day, you're good. You're going to have drinks if you want to go up to a restaurant. You're going to have food if you want to go to a restaurant. Like, you have everything that you possibly need when being here at Pensacola Beach.
The third pro that I said third and then I threw it before there. The third pro that we're going to be talking about is the fact that you are not going to get the tourism here as, say, somewhere like Destin or even Gulf Shores, Orange Beach area. So if you put the numbers together, the tourism that comes to Pensacola Beach every single year is about a third of that of Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, and it's about half of what Destin gets. And so if you are living here on the beach, you're not going to get as much tourism as, say, if you lived over in Destin, which is a great thing because it can get annoying. And it even gets annoying here with the tourism that we get. Say you live here, you need to make your way over to the grocery store and you have that traffic backing up on the bridge. And so it's great to know that you're not going to get as much tourism.
All right, the fourth and final pro, which Guys, we can go on pros all day long,
Yep.
but we had to be like half and half. So we'll say fourth for today. The fourth and final pro is going to be that nightlife.
Yep.
When we are talking about some of these surrounding cities like Gulf Breeze, Navarre, even Fort Walton has a little bit, but mainly the nightlife is going to exist on the beach area of Pensacola Beach and downtown Pensacola. If you are not in those two areas, you are going to be driving or taking an Uber, hopefully, if you're going to be doing that nightlife.
And there's also a good thing to that nightlife. If you are a local or if you are living on Pensacola Beach, you know those spots where people don't go, and we're talking about those tourists, right? And so we know a few local spots. I don't know if we're going to expose them here. If you want to know,
Just trying to be a little,
I'm going to tease you a little bit. I'm not going to let you know what those spots are because I don't want everyone flooding in there. It's like, hey, this is our spot. We know this is where the locals go.
He's being stingy.
Yeah, I am being a little stingy on that. But you do have a nightlife even outside of the tourists that are here, and that's great to know that you go there and you see the same people you see every time. It's just not all kinds of random tourists. I mean, you might enjoy that. There's times that we go to Flounders.
Yeah, sure.
we go to Flounders sometimes just to see the people watching, meet people, see where they're from, and so you kind of get the best of both worlds, whether you want to be super extroverted or you want to be a little bit more introverted with the people that you already know. All right, now it is time to break into those cons, guys, and the first thing we're going to be talking about are those real estate prices. Before I do so, though, if you are planning on calling Pensacola Beach or the Emerald Coast your next home, make sure you give us a call or a text at that phone number right below. Right below right there, we have assembled the best team of realtors to help you out with all your real estate purchases. All right, that first con that we are going to be talking about is obviously the real estate. The real estate is much more expensive here. If you look over the median sales price over in Pensacola, it's in between $200,000 and $300,000. Over here, you're lucky to get anything less than $800,000, and that is going to be attached. If you're looking at getting a single family house down here, if it's complete wreck, you might be able to stick under $1 million. Otherwise, you're looking at probably $1 to even up to $5 million to get a place here on Pensacola Beach.
Okay, just to give you some real numbers, if you were to go and look at, what's on the market right now, because when we look at numbers for you guys and we're pulling like median sales prices and things like that, we're going to be looking kind of month over month. We're going to be looking at trends, but I did go like even just say Zillow, the most used platform, right?
Yeah.
We go to Zillow and you look at what's on there. I looked it up for you guys. There was 2 attached homes for $500 to $800. Don't we wish? $800,000.
Yep.
There was 1 detached for $800,000 to $900,000.
And that's the one that when we looked at it, we're like, oh, this thing needs
like,
a ton of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Majority of them are going to fall in that $1 million to $2 million, and then there was a few in that like $2 million plus, and just a couple in that little $3 to $4 million. So yes, there are still some big, beautiful $4 million houses up here, but they are going to be pretty few and far between. I would say majority of them are going to fall in that $1 million to $2 million price range.
And this might not be a con for you. You might be like, you know what, I'm retiring, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to live my life, got my retirement, I'm going to go buy that house that I've always dreamed about. You are going to find that here in Pensacola Beach. And so this might not be a huge con for you, but if you are someone who are looking more for that like $500,000 to $600,000 price range, most likely are not going to find it here.
Well, and then real quick before we move on to the next con, if you are comparing, I hate to bring in a pro on a con, right? But if you are looking at other areas in Florida to get this beach view, you are going to be paying way more than $1 to $2 million. So it's a con in comparison to the area, but it is a huge pro in comparison to other areas for getting what you're going to get.
The second con we're going to talk about if you do plan on living on Pensacola Beach is the fact that you don't have any grocery stores. Like literally no grocery stores. You're going to have to go over to a convenience store to get maybe those quick one-offs, milk or eggs or all that stuff. But to go to a grocery store, you're going to have to cross the bridge, go over into Gulf Breeze. They have a neighborhood Walmart, just the grocery store Walmart there. They have a Publix over there. But yeah, you don't have access to those grocery stores on Pensacola Beach.
All right, the third con is going to be that we still get some major weather. And the reason we bring this up is because we have tried to record this video for you guys a couple of times and we have been blown kind of off of that area. So we'll throw in some clips here just to show you.
Well, we had high ambitions to be recording today, guys. I don't think it's happening. It's a little windy and the beach isn't something to show off today.
This is how dedicated we are. We want you to see the good and the bad. So that's why we wanted to record when we were out here trying to record this video for you. But we also wanted to bring you out here in the beauty of it as well. Now, people worry about being on Pensacola Beach because of the hurricanes and all of that. So obviously we have to include that in as a con. You are going to be paying flood insurance right here. You are going to have inconsistencies in weather.
Yep.
If it's going to be windy, you are going to be the windiest down here. So it's something that we have to talk about. Most people know that. And sometimes you can get away from it if you're a little bit more inland, but you are not going to really be getting away from it if you're living on Pensacola Beach.
And then, so I'm going to throw something else in there when we're talking about weather and hurricanes. As you think about your homeowner's insurance, I'm going to tell you straight up, there's a lot of people down here when they do buy their houses, they buy them cash. They don't do homeowners insurance because it's so expensive. We're talking like $30,000 up to $50,000 a year. And so a lot of people that we talk to that are living here and even off of the sound, they're like, we just don't do it when it comes in. We'll take care of it when it comes in at the time. But yeah, so that's something you need to be concerned about, is the homeowner insurance is going to be outrageous being right off the Gulf.
Now, I do have to put it in here because I don't want to scare you. It is the #1 question you guys ask when calling in to me, is like, talk to me about homeowners. I just got an article the other day saying that there was 3 more carriers that just came into Florida to try to make affordable homeowners insurance with this hurricane after the last hurricane.
Yep.
So people are trying to actively fix this. Other companies are finding ways to, be better and stronger in that department. And we look at flood zones all the time for you guys. Like, we can go on the FEMA website and we can kind of look at all the flood, because there are areas that are very close to the water that are still not in a flood zone because of different drainage systems, or, and I wouldn't say a lot of hills because we don't have a ton of hills here, but there are ways to get a house, not on Pensacola Beach, but around here, that you don't have to pay outrageous amount of hurricane insurance. I think you'd be surprised. So definitely ask us about those things. Don't let that be a con that keeps you from calling.
Exactly.
Because we can find homes that are not going to fit that same, problem.
Yeah, this is going to be a very broad statement, because there's so many times, like, when we talk to people, like, well, but yeah, Foley is so much cheaper in these areas and stuff like that. If we actually dive into the numbers, guys, and look at those specifics, majority of the time, you guys are surprised. And you're like, okay, you guys said this, it's obviously not that bad, but we just try and paint it, kind of worst case scenario. That way you kind of aren't like blindsided. Holy crap, I didn't know this is expensive. So just a quick note on that so that you do know. All right, cool. So the 4th con, we've already kind of discussed this.
This is probably the worst con. This is our con.
This is our least favorite con about this, and the tourism.
Yeah.
And so you guys are like, well, wait a second. You guys said that was a pro because they don't get as much as Destin and also Orange Beach and Gulf Shores over in Alabama, but you still get that tourism. So many times when we're coming back from our local beach spots or whatever it is, we hit that traffic and it sucks. We get stuck right before there's this 3-point intersection, and actually I guess you could call it 4 when you're coming in from the other side of the retail and all that stuff. Anyways, that gets backed up like crazy. So even if you are coming in from a few of these local spots, it takes forever. One time we were like doing the whole 4th of July thing here. What did it take you, like ready. 2 hours to go a mile or something?
Yep,
like
it did.
Yeah,
sure
so
did.
that tourism sucks. If you are living here, think about if you have to go over to the grocery store and it's in the middle of tourist season, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta wait until 9 o'clock at night just to go down there when the drunkies are finally at the bar and they're not on the road and stuff. So
if you live here, you can't avoid it.
Yep.
Like, locals that live not on Pensacola Beach, they don't always go to Pensacola Beach during tours, or they may not come for the 4th of July. They might do like another little tradition that is just a little bit more convenient. Or they're like, yeah, that's our tradition. We just make the best of it and we just have a great time in the traffic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can set your mindset and like just do it. Or a lot of locals will be like, nope, we don't go down there during that time. But if you are on the beach, there's really no escaping that. Obviously you could just walk down so you don't have to drive it, which I guess is a pro. Gosh, I'm sorry. I try not to bring pros in on cons, but I clearly love it here.
Yep.
But I think the whole big thing is if you do have to go somewhere and you are on here, you can't get away from it. So you're going to have to just sit in it.
Yeah, okay, so just to kind of wrap this entire video up, everyone that we've known and also met that have lived on Pensacola Beach, I mean, most of them are empty nesters, retired, and they're like so laid back in life.
They're so chill.
Many things don't bother them. Like, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna go down to Peg Leg Pizza. Oh, I accidentally missed one of our spots. Go down to Peg Leg Pizza. A lot of people don't know the actual, because there's like a secret into avoiding the line over there. I won't get into that portion of it. But they're just like laid back. They're like, yeah, that doesn't bother me. He's like, I'll just order my groceries. You know, it's like now with like Amazon and you got Walmart, I'm just gonna order my groceries. They can deal with that traffic. And so the majority of people that we do see here are so laid back that those things really don't bother them.
Yeah, but if we're sitting here telling you that we don't have as much tourism as these other 2 areas, which is true, we also have to talk about, like, you're gonna feel it though.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna feel it. And if you're living on the beach, you're gonna be living in it. So there is really no escaping it. But again, I still love it.
I love it too.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay. We did cover the cons though. You have to say, we are really good about making sure that we give you the full disclosure. If you have questions, please let us know, guys. If you are liking this video, we are gonna be covering the difference between this beach and Navarre Beach, so you're gonna wanna stick around. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. If you love these beautiful views, let me hear you out there, and then hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time that we release a new video.
And if you are looking at purchasing real estate here in the Emerald Coast, give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right below it there, we always answer. It doesn't matter date or time. Until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.